Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Earlier in December, Vulture put out their article, The Best Comedy Specials of 2023. So that doesn't include Trevor Noah, won't include Ricky Gervais, and won't include Chappelle. As for me, I'm planning on putting out my list towards the end of next week. I want to get on the other side of Ricky Gervais. I won't include Chappelle because it doesn't come out to New Year's Eve, so I wouldn't be able to do it in 2023 unless Netflix hooks me up with a screener, which they have not as of yet. If you are a new listener, when I do these article episodes, I don't look in advance because I like to react as I go along. So I'm hitting click here from Vulture, the best comedy specials of 2023. This was published on December 6th. They have number 10, Sashir Zamata's The First Woman. I haven't heard any buzz whatsoever on that, and I haven't seen it. So maybe it is awesome, but no buzz. You'll find it on YouTube. Vulture tells us the special's title comes from a joke at the end of a long and pointed joke about the history of female aviators. That's part You're Wrong About episode, part feminist screed, and part that thing when your hilarious friend can't help but tell you about this fascinating Wikipedia rabbit hole that they fell down last night. Number 9 is John Early's Now More Than Ever. That is on my list towards the back half. Part sketch, part stand-up, part concert documentary of a fake cover band. John Early's Now More Than Ever gleefully puts its tongue in several nested layers of cheek. Yeah, I enjoyed it because it was quite different. I think that's the thing I like about it. Vulture wrote, the whole thing is absurd. It's almost certain there are one or possibly a dozen too many ideas in here, all shoehorned into the concert documentary conceit, then undermined by the cynicism of the entire production. You'll find that on Max. Next one up, Mike Birbiglia as the old man on the pool. I've mentioned on this podcast, I think you would really like it. The comedy snob in me kicked in, and I was watching it. Mike was telling a story about wrestling, and I didn't believe the premise of the story. I just didn't believe the story ever actually happened. I may be incorrect, but I didn't believe the story, so I punched down on it. I think you guys, not being comedy snobs, will enjoy Mike Birbiglia as the old man on the pool. Vulture has it at number 8. You'll find that on Netflix. At 7, they have Zainab Johnson's Hijab's Off. I have seen buzz about this one, haven't gotten to it yet. Vulture writes, Johnson's not interested in waiting or in storing away material for some later point in her career. This is her debut special. Now is the time to talk about the hard stuff, to embrace it as part of who she is from the jump, and to establish the kind of comedian who can do it with grace. That one's on Amazon. Maria Bamford's Local Act. Haven't seen this one, haven't purchased it. This one not free streaming anywhere, and by free streaming, you know what I mean, like, you know, you give Netflix $17 a month or whatever it is, and they give you stuff. This you'll have to actually go purchase. There's been a lot of buzz on Maria in the back half of the year, and apparently this special is pretty good. Next one, Gary Gulman's Born on Third Base. So we're doing some time traveling here. Apparently Vulture saw this early in December. The special came out 2 days ago on Max. I'm recording this on December 14th, so I haven't seen Gary Gulman yet. I suspect it'll make my end of the year list because I like Gary a lot and his previous work is fantastic. So with that time traveling in mind, I'm not sure how I can review it, so I'll tell you, Vulture said, Born on Third Base is a comedy special about income inequality and the fraying social fabric that creates lasting poverty in America, a topic that feels like a dubious framework for an hour of laughs, but Goldman's so good at negotiating that tension and weaving material about his childhood together with more general ideas about culture and class. That one is on Max. Number 4, Sam Jay's Salute Me or Shoot Me. Wow, that one's also on Max. I think I started to watch it and just wasn't into it. Vulture says, Salute Me or Shoot Me is all about Sam's ability to move in and out of jokes that swagger and jokes that approach with delicacy and grace. Every other comedian who wants to stand on a stage and say bad words to get people riled up desperately wishes they had what Sam Jay has. Good review there, huh? Joe Pera's Slow and Steady. I struggled with this one because the audience was kind of out in front of Joe. I know Hedberg ran into that late in life, so I think the audience kind of screwed up his special, but Vulture says the rhythm of Joe Pera joke can feel like water dripping from a faucet. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with Joe, works very deliberately. That's a big way of saying slow. The punchline will come at the same beat as everything else, and yet when you're waiting for it, the gap between the last line and the next one can feel like time slowing down and just hovering for a moment. Number 2, Vulture has Beth Stelling's If You Didn't Want Me Then. I started to watch that one and just wasn't feeling it and punched out of it. Vulture says her comedic persona, which ticks between cool disaffection and full-throated weirdness, is especially effective in this special. It's full of recollections on her childhood, and Stelling comes at those stories about her youth with both fondness and a sense of absurdity. And their number one special of the year, wow, I love this guy. I've been on a kick about this guy, and yet I did not like this special. And didn't make it to the end of it. That's how much I didn't like it. And I'm really into this guy. I'm a big fan of this guy. I'm hoping to get to talk to this guy. Number one on Vulture's list, Marc Maron's From Bleak to Dark. You'll find that one on Max. Wow. All right, they have some honorable mentions. Shane Torres's The Blue-Eyed Mexican, Dina Hashem's Dark Little Whispers. I got to get to that one. Chris Fleming's Hell, that's on my list. I like that one a lot. You'll find that one on Peacock. Ali Sadiq's The Domino Effect. That one is on, let me scroll down here. YouTube, didn't like that one. John Mulaney's Baby J. I know we're all supposed to fawn over that one. It's not on my list. Netflix. Monique's My Name is Monique. I checked that out, bailed on it. That one's on Netflix. Mae Martin's SAP is on Netflix. Didn't like that one. Kyle Kinane, Shocks and Struts. Love that one. That's going to make my top 10. Maybe my top 5, depending on how things like Gervais shake out. Vulture writes, his cruise ship material conjures a nightmarish, hedonistic carnival. His story about a van goes places no one could have predicted. But Shocks and Struts is a reminder that Kinane is so good, he can do it with no words, too. There's an act out about a jam band that is somehow perfectly exasperated while nearly silent. That one's on YouTube. Highly recommended by me. Marlon Wayans, God Loves Me. Yeah, I wasn't feeling that one. That was on Max. Nate Bargatze's Hello World, one of my favorites, could be top 5. That one was so good, I hit pause, grabbed my wife, and watched 20 minutes again because I knew she would enjoy it. That one's strong. That's on Amazon. Way up my list. But I'll tell you, I just double-checked my list. I have it below Kyle Kinane's. That's how much I like those two. From December 11th, Paste Magazine's The Best Comedy Albums of 2023. This one I have skimmed, and I didn't know most of these, so I was excited to read this one. These are listed alphabetically. Maria Bamford's Crowd Pleaser. So that's that same special that we just talked about. That's out on Comedy Dynamics. Next, they have Liz Barrett's Gettin' By. Gettin' with an apostrophe there. I didn't drop the G because of my Queen accent. Liz shares her secret to living well. I'm having a great year because I've given up. Between her deadpan delivery and shrugging sarcastic observations, Barrett's comedy is a perfect marriage of tone and content. Derek Brown's A Close Shave with Heaven. Derek takes the Boston stage accompanied by a twinkling piano. And this musical choice sets the tone for an LP that clearly would be at home on the airwaves of NPR. Yet Brown keeps from being pretentious. He reminds us to stay stupid, everybody. Cara Connors, Straight for Pay. Paste writes, there's a lot of pressure on a stand-up comedian's debut album to properly introduce them to us sight unseen. You need to be confident in your ability to sell jokes based on your voice and your voice alone. Luckily for LA-based comedian Cara Connors, her voice is one of her strongest suits. Connors' vocal elasticity is truly a wonder, immediately bringing to mind Adam Sandler's goofy impressions. Not sure that's a good comparison there. I'm not sure that's helping. It's not helping with me. John Glazer's Soothing Meditations for the Solitary Dog. The album begins with spa-ready ambient music and twinkling sounds in the background as the gentle voice of Uncle John reassures lonely canines that their humans will surely be home soon. He plans to record the perfect calming audio companion for needy dogs. Although more and more issues crop up, it's the type of escalating chaos Glazer excels at, aided by sound design expertise. Sounds awesome. Pap Johnson's Timeless, P-A-P-P Johnson. Paste writes, the first thing you notice about Pap Johnson is the timbre of his voice. It's sonorous, adding depth to his unhurried, carefree delivery. His set is full of pregnant pauses, some so long that you'll think you've accidentally stopped the track. Love it. Sometimes Johnson's trailing off is the punchline itself, and again, this demonstrates just how comfortable he is on stage to make such a risky choice. Greg Proops. Greg's comedy albums are pretty strong. I play them a lot on Live One. I'd like to play all of these. So many of these are not available for digital release. That's why I'm not really familiar with them. I guess I could purchase them, but I'm trying to just stream them, and they're not available. French Drug Deal involves an extended tangent about bats, an anecdote about The View, a bit about performing at then Prince, now King Charles' birthday, and multiple stories starting off with travel destinations. We've made quite a leap in the alphabetical order. We've gone from P to V. Natasha Weinblatt, we're all dads here. Natasha emigrated from Russia at the age of 7, and some of her funniest anecdotes touch on the differences between Russian and American cultures. We're All Dads Here is a hilarious look at Weinblatt's family life, her marriage of 10 years, and the various scrapes she's gotten herself into. Her droll delivery of increasingly silly jokes, like a call and response bit where the crowd guesses the veracity of odd workout classes, is the perfect packaging. Paste Magazine's Best of 2023 Comedy Albums, and that is your comedy news for today. Hope you have a great Christmas Eve and a fantastic Christmas. There is an episode tomorrow. There's always an episode. If you enjoy the show, tell somebody about it. You can follow the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Again, Merry Christmas. See you tomorrow.